Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Mahmudur Rahman Imrul, Assistant Professor Orthopedic Surgery, Boshundhara Addin Medical College Hospital. Welcome you all in my today's orthopedic lecture, and today is our first lecture class, and today's topic is principles of fracture. In today's lecture there will be a definition of fracture, some classification of fractures, management of fracture including some complications of fracture as well as management of those complications. Let's start with what is fracture. This is a very common definition and you have to answer this question definitely in written, viva, in different sector. So you have to memorize this definition with very caution and know now what is fracture. Fracture may be defined as structural breach in the natural continuity of bone and cartilage, that is any structural breach in the natural continuity of bone and cartilage. That means in case of any trauma or any type of injury, if the continuity of bone or cartilage is lost, that may be defined as fracture. And now let's come to know about some classification of fracture. Fracture may be classified in different ways, that is etiological classification, communication with the exterior, or communication according to fracture pattern. The first classification is etiological classification. Etiological classification is mainly of three types. That is, first, the most common is traumatic fracture, second one is pathological fracture, and third one is stress fracture. I repeat, traumatic fracture, pathological fracture and stress fracture. Now let's come to know something about traumatic fracture, and this is the most common type of fracture which is usually faced on daily activity practice. And how traumatic fracture occurs? It occurs due to any sudden injury to the bone and cartilage. The important point is any sudden injury. When a sudden injury occurs to the bone or cartilage, that cause traumatic fracture. And what are the examples of traumatic fracture? As for example, there will be road traffic accident. If someone fall from height, there is a sports injury, and even a children may fall from his bed, or elderly people may fall in the slippery floor, may cause traumatic fracture. And the next one is pathological fracture, and this is the incidence of pathological fracture is not that much common like traumatic fracture, but you have to know very carefully about pathological fracture. And now let's come to know something about pathological fracture. What is pathological fracture? When a abnormal bone gives way, that is referred as pathological fracture. What is it? If a bone is pathological or abnormal from the beginning, and when a fracture occur, then abnormal bone, that is pathological fracture. What is that? How we can diagnose this? The fracture may occur spontaneously, or fracture may occur after a minor trauma or a trivial trauma, then it must be regarded as pathological fracture. How we can diagnose pathological fracture? Suppose if someone is walking, suddenly he develop pain and fall, that may be, then we should keep our mind that it may be a pathological fracture. Or a young boy started to do some activity, sports injury, suddenly he developed a fracture in his humerus, that may be a pathological fracture due to any bone tumor or like that. Okay. And now our next topic is stress fracture. Stress fracture, this is also common, but we have to be cautious for diagnosis of stress fracture. Stress fractures have other name, that is sometimes we called it fatigue fracture. The stress fracture or fatigue fracture is one occurring in a normal bone of a healthy patient. Try to keep the points that I am telling you, that it occurs in a normal bone of a healthy patient, not due to any specific traumatic incident, but to small repetitive stress. Few points that to be remembered: one is normal bone, 2 is healthy patient, 3 not due to sudden injury but due to repetitive stress. 4 points to be remembered for definition of stress fracture or diagnosis of a stress fracture. What is that? Normal bone of a healthy patient or a healthy person, not any repetitive stress, not a specific stress, but due to minor or small repetitive stress that cause stress fracture. Okay. Now another classification, that is classification of fracture according to its appearance. Okay. According to appearance, that is usually 2 types. First one is complete fracture. Complete fracture means it is complete. What is it? The fracture will be occur in the whole bone, that is from one cortex to another cortex, that is fracture on both sides of the cortex. And another is incomplete fracture. Incomplete fracture is when the fracture occur in the one cortex but another cortex is intact, that is here the bone is incompletely divided and periosteum remains in continuity. Where this will occur? This occur in children, that is called green stick fracture. Here what happens? That is, as children have a thick periosteum, when fracture occur, one cortex break, but due to thick periosteum another cortex remain intact, and that is like something green stick of a tree or a bamboo stick like that. When you break it, one cortex remains continuity but another cortex is broken, and here it shows a very nice figure of green stick fracture of in X-ray. And the another and one of the most important classification of fracture, that is classification according to communication with the exterior, and then it have fracture is 2 types. Simply one is 2 types, one is closed fracture and another is open fracture or compound fracture. Closed fracture means close, open fracture means open. Open with what? When a fracture does not communicate with the exterior, it means communicate with the open air, then it is called closed fracture, or does not communicate with the external environment, that is closed fracture. Sometimes we call it simple fracture, and another is open fracture or compound fracture, when the fracture communicate with the external environment, then it is called open fracture. As for example, a tibia fracture, overlying skin disrupted and bony fragment exposed to the environment, and if we can see the bone is exposed, then it is a open fracture. Okay. And another and most interesting classification of fracture is, that is according to the fracture pattern or classification of fracture according to the mechanism of injury. And few fracture mechanism, different fracture mechanism produces different pattern of fracture. As for example, there is a spiral fracture, there is oblique fracture, transverse fracture and comminuted fracture. How spiral fracture occur? It means when a bone is twisted, then it will cause spiral fracture. Okay. As for example, when a long fracture pattern occur and involving few more cortex, then it will cause a spiral fracture. Another is oblique fracture. How oblique fracture occur? As for example, if you try to bend a pen, it will break, and at the breaking end it will produce a oblique fracture, that is bending force. This is the bending force. If we take a pen and just try to bend like this, this is the bending force and produces oblique fracture. And another is transverse fracture. Transverse fracture is what? When a fracture force occur to the bone in a angular way. How it is occur? As for example, this is a bone. If a injury or pressure or force goes in this way, this will produce a fracture, and this fracture will cause transverse fracture. And fourth type is comminuted fracture. And how it is occurs? It occurs in a high velocity injury. How a high velocity injury occurs? If someone is in a car and there is a heavy road traffic accident, or if there is an earthquake or a natural disaster or multiple direct trauma or massive direct trauma, that cause comminuted fracture. So what are the four types? First one, spiral fracture due to twisting force. Second one, oblique fracture due to bending force. Third, transverse fracture due to angular force, and another is comminuted fracture. How it occurs? Due to high velocity injury. Okay. How many types of classification we already heard? That is already 4 types. Okay. And now we will discuss about 3 interesting topics about orthopedics. That is, first one is dislocation, second one is subluxation, and third one is fracture dislocation. Okay. First of all, dislocation, second one subluxation, and third one fracture dislocation. Okay. First of all, what is dislocation? Dislocation is quite common and it usually occur after trauma or sometimes without trauma, just minor injury cause dislocation. And dislocation is usually common in the shoulder or in the knee patella. Okay. Now, what is dislocation? Total loss of contact between the articular surfaces, that is dislocation. What is that? As for example, think this is a knee joint. When there is a total loss, and these are the articular surface, when there is a total loss of contact between the articular surface, then it is dislocation. Okay. And another second one is subluxation, that is incomplete separation. That is, what is it? What does it mean? When articular surfaces are partly displaced and remain some contact with one another. What is this? Separation occur but not completely. Some contact between the articular surfaces. This is the subluxation. When articular surfaces are partly displaced but remain some contact with one another, that is subluxation. Okay. Or sometimes we call it incomplete separation. And the third topic is fracture dislocation. What is it? When a fracture is associated with a dislocation, or we may say when a dislocation is associated with a fracture, then it is we call fracture dislocation. Okay. I repeat, when a dislocation is associated with a fracture of the surrounding bone, then we called it dislocation. It's all about today's lecture, and today we have learned about what is fracture, different types of classification of fracture, and what is dislocation, subluxation, and fracture dislocation. Next class we will discuss about management of fracture, and then we will discuss some important fracture pattern or important disease about orthopedics. With this I conclude today. Thank you. Thanks to you all. Assalamu alaikum.